So an interesting thing about TikTok and now YouTube Shorts, and I would say also your Facebook Reels, they're very good about bringing you to what you're looking for. It was probably a couple of months ago. I was thumbing through mine and a Mike Rowe video comes up where he's on an interview talking about how unemployment isn't an accurate number, meaning there's nothing really to learn by it. And that immediately caught my attention because that's an observation that I share. It's like, what's the full point of only tracking people that are actively looking for work, making your unemployment numbers? Obviously, once a person quits looking for work or a certain amount of time passes, they're off of that metric. I know politicians like to say, well, unemployment is down. And I would always think in the back of my mind, is unemployment down really? Or have the people just quit looking for work because it doesn't matter? So Mike Rowe talks about this Eberhard guy who wrote a book 5 years ago, something along those lines, talking about 7 million able-bodied men. This is just men. I don't know how many women, because apparently everything's got to be about men. Hope that doesn't distract anybody from the point. But 7 million able-bodied men not only are not working, they're not even looking for work. In the book, I ended up doing a little research on this, and it's some sort of, the statistical data for it, they have shared, like when you dive down that rabbit hole, you can find where it points it out. Because the interesting part is these same people that are of this 7 million strong group also have 12 some odd hours per day of screen time, meaning they're either on social media or playing video games. Economic law would mean somebody is pulling the weight for those individuals to be able to stay home like that. Is it loving parents, a loving wife, a flawed system? I mean, by saying able-bodied, I think that takes us out of what we were talking about in the past, where if somebody's not physically capable or mentally capable to produce. So who's pulling the weight? I can tell you in the time that I took off, we had some extra bones put away. My wife makes great money. My parents are affluent. Quite a few of our things are paid for to the point to where our debt maintenance isn't that bad. So conceivably, I can take long spans of time off. If we chose to live simpler, that would even more increase the amount of time that I can take off. And I'm using that to reference the reason why. And it has to do with a wealth surplus. Either somebody's parents are so wealthy that it doesn't matter, or they're so wealthy that it doesn't matter, but is the result to the peril of our economy. One of the things that happened, I think, during the COVID lockdown, when everybody was out of work, or so many people were out of work that didn't have a essential employee benefits, I think a lot of people realized how cheaply and minimally they were able to survive outside of the rat race. It was a good example. They got pulled out of the rat race, and guess what? The world didn't end. It didn't cease to spin, and things changed seemingly forever. And to me, as I'm going around doing my thing, I think many industries and and many retail markets are trying to find their footing still, and people are having trouble adapting, and maybe more trouble adapting. There's a generation, your traditional generation expects when they walk up to a kiosk or some type of a counter, they expect a human being to be there. They're not expecting it to be replaced by a little terminal that you have to put a bunch of information in. Not sure what the end will be. Just an interesting observation. I think what I'm trying to say in the end, does it still have the same economic results that we feared before? Perhaps this even goes back to UBI. So you got 7 million more people at least that are going to be even more incentivized to get a pay raise, so to speak. Interesting thoughts, interesting times. All right, y'all. Catch you later.